Ever noticed how the moment you share good news, things start falling apart? You tell people your big plan and suddenly lose all motivation to actually do it. You share a personal struggle, and by Thursday, it's office gossip. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You're out here giving people free ammunition and wondering why you keep getting shot. Society says be open, share everything. Vulnerability is strength. But the most peaceful people you know? They're not telling you everything. They're not being secretive. They're being selective. And there's a massive difference. Why do you feel exhausted after spending time with certain people? Why does sharing your dreams sometimes kill them before they start? What if the key to inner peace isn't saying more, it's saying less? In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you 6 things you should never tell people if you want to protect your peace, your energy, and your success. The last one? 90% of people overshare daily, and it's destroying their relationships without them realizing it. If you've ever regretted telling someone something personal, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and comment "Protected Peace." Let's start with the one that kills more dreams than anything else. Number 1, your goals and dreams before they happen. You get excited about a goal. I mean, really excited. You're going to start that business, write that book, get in shape, go back to school. Finally, you make that big change. And what's the first thing you do? You tell everyone, I'm starting a business. I'm writing a book. I'm going to lose 50 pounds. You announce it on social media. Tell your family, your friends, your coworkers, that random person you met at the coffee shop who asked how you're doing. And here's what's crazy. The moment those words leave your mouth, something shifts. That fire you felt, it starts dimming. That motivation, evaporating. And within a few weeks, you're not even working on the goal anymore. But hey, at least everyone knows you were going to do something impressive. What just happened? You got the dopamine hit from announcing it. Your brain thinks you already accomplished something because people congratulated you, encouraged you, and told you it's a great idea. You experienced the reward without doing the work, and now your brain's like, cool, we're done here, mission accomplished. Except nothing's accomplished. You just talked about it. Here's the brutal part. Now you've got 17 opinions you didn't ask for. That's risky. Are you sure? My cousin tried that and failed. Why don't you just... And suddenly, the thing you were excited about is buried under a pile of other people's fears, doubts, and projections. There's this ancient wisdom that people completely ignore. Proverbs says when pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. And in Matthew, there's this teaching about praying in private, not on street corners where everyone can see you. Jesus did something fascinating. After performing miracles, literal miracles, he'd tell people, don't tell anyone about this. Over and over, tell no one. Now, most people think that was about humility or staying humble. And sure, that's part of it. But there's something deeper. He understood that a premature announcement dilutes power. The loudest declarations often produce the quietest results. Think about it. The people who talk the most about their goals are usually the ones who accomplish the least. And the people who actually achieve massive things, you didn't hear about them until they'd already done it. Announce results, not intentions. Share the trophy, not the training. Let your success be the announcement. Work in silence and let success make the noise. Because here's what happens when you keep your goals private. No outside noise, no unsolicited advice, no jealous energy. No one is subtly hoping you fail, so they don't have to feel bad about their own inaction. Just you and your goal in a clean, focused space where you can actually execute. Every person you tell is a potential source of doubt, distraction, or sabotage. And I'm not saying everyone's out to get you. Most people mean well. But their doubts become your doubts. Their fears become your fears. Their limitations become your limitations if you're not careful. Here's what I want you to do. The 6-month rule. Don't announce any goal until you're 6 months deep into executing it. By then, the momentum is real. The doubt is gone. You're committed, regardless of what anyone thinks. You've proven to yourself it's possible. At that point, share away. You've got evidence, you've got results, you've got something real to show, and nobody can talk you out of something you've already proven works. Tell people what you did, not what you're going to do. Past tense beats future tense every single time. Keep a private journal instead of posting every goal on Instagram. Document your journey for yourself, not for an audience. Your goals don't need witnesses. They need work. There's this guy I know who started a business, told everyone, got flooded with helpful advice that all contradicted each other. You should do this. No, you should do that. Have you thought about? He got so overwhelmed analyzing everyone's opinions that he quit before he even really started. A year later, he starts a second business. This time, he tells no one. Works in silence for 18 months. Builds it, tests it, fixes it, launch it successfully. Only then does he announce it. People were shocked. Why didn't you tell us you were working on this? He smiled and said, because I wanted it to succeed. Your dreams are fragile when they're new. Protect them like newborns. Keep them close. Guard them. Only show them to the world when they're strong enough to survive criticism, doubt, and other people's opinions. The moment you stop announcing and start executing, everything changes. The energy shifts, the focus sharpens, and the results, they speak louder than any announcement ever could. But that's just the obvious part. What I'm about to say is what makes the difference. Because there's another thing people love to share that breeds more problems than any goal announcement ever could. And it's about the one topic that makes people show their true colors faster than anything else. Number 2, your income and financial situation. And that topic is money. People love asking about it. How much do you make? What'd that cost? Can you afford that? What's your salary? How much was your bonus? And here's the trap. The moment you answer honestly, whether you're doing well or struggling, you lose. There's no winning answer to money questions. None. Tell people you're doing well financially? Congratulations, you just became the ATM. Suddenly everyone needs a loan. Everyone's got an emergency. Everyone remembers you exist when their car breaks down or rent's due. And if you say no, you're the selfish one. But you can afford it. Tell people you're struggling? Now you're the charity case. The pity project. Everyone's looking at you differently, judging your purchases. If you're broke, why'd you buy that coffee? They're keeping a score of how you spend money they don't even give you. You cannot win this game. So stop playing it. There's this ancient teaching from the Talmud that says, the rich man is not he who has much, but he who needs little. But there's a deeper principle buried in Jewish wisdom that most people miss. Wise people never advertise their wealth or their struggles. Ever. Look at Joseph in Egypt. Guy is the second in command of the most powerful nation on earth, Pharaoh's right hand. And what does he do during the 7 years of abundance? He stores grain quietly. Doesn't announce it, doesn't brag about the reserves. Just accumulates in silence. When the famine hit and everyone was starving, Joseph had power. Why? Because nobody knew what he had until he decided to reveal it. Financial privacy was financial power. The moment people know your numbers, they start making calculations that have nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. They're calculating what you owe them, what you should do for them, whether you deserve what you have, whether they deserve more. Money conversations breed resentment. Always. It's not about the amount, it's about the comparison. People who have less than you resent you for having more. Must be nice. Easy for you to say, you don't understand struggle. And people who have more than you judge you for having less. Maybe if you worked harder, you should budget better. I don't understand how you're struggling. Nobody's actually happy for you. They're just doing math in their head about where they stand relative to you. And that math always ends in some kind of negative emotion. Your finances are between you, your accountant, and your goals. Period. Nobody else has equity in your bank account, so nobody else gets access to the information. Here's what you do when people ask nosy money questions. Master the redirect. I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. How are things with you? Polite, firm, subject changed. If they push, I don't really discuss finances, but I appreciate your concern. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Not your friends, not your family, and definitely not your coworkers. Never discuss salary with people unless you're collectively negotiating for better pay. Otherwise, it's nobody's business. Never announce big purchases. Don't post the new car. Don't mention the house. Don't flex the vacation. Not because you can't enjoy nice things, but because the moment you announce it, people start making assumptions about what you can afford and what you should be doing with your money. The less people know about your money, the more they respect your boundaries. Mystery creates respect. Transparency creates entitlement. There are these two sisters I know. First one constantly talks about her salary raises, her bonuses, her investments. Every family gathering, she's updating everyone on her financial wins. The second sister never discusses money. Ever. Pleasant, kind, but completely private about finances. Fast forward 5 years. The first sister is constantly being asked for loans. She's judged for every purchase. Why'd you buy that if you're trying to save? Family resents her for not helping more. You make so much money and you can't help your own cousin? The second sister? Peaceful. No drama, no resentment. Nobody is asking for money because nobody knows what she has. She maintains healthy relationships because money isn't poisoning them. One day, the first sister asks, "Why does nobody bother you about money?" The second sister smiles, "Because they don't know what I have. Privacy is peace." Your bank account is nobody's business. The more they know about your money, the more opinions they'll have about how you should spend it, save it, invest it, or give it away. And those opinions will cost you more than money. They'll cost you peace. The number in your account should be the best kept secret you have. Not because you're hiding, because you're protecting yourself from jealousy, judgment, and entitlement. Wait, there's something you need to pay attention to if you don't want to lose everything. Because while money talk ruins relationships, there's something even more dangerous. Something people do thinking they're being virtuous, but it's actually destroying the very thing they're trying to build. Number 3, your good deeds and acts of kindness. And that thing is announcing your good deeds. You help someone, you donate to charity, you volunteer, you do something generous, and immediately you feel this urge to tell people about it. Post it, share it, let everyone know what a good person you are. Congratulations, you just turned generosity into performance art. That's not charity anymore. That's a PR campaign with you as the brand. I see it everywhere. Just donated to this amazing cause with a screenshot of the receipt. Volunteering at the shelter today with 17 selfies. Gave money to a homeless person with a whole story about how it made you feel. Here's what kills me about this. The moment you announce your good deed, it stops being a good deed. You're no longer helping because it's the right thing to do. You're helping because of what it says about you. You're collecting credit, harvesting likes, building your image as a good person. That's not generosity. That's a transaction. You're trading kindness for reputation. And the person you helped, they just became a prop in your virtue-signaling theater production. There's this teaching in Matthew that cuts straight to the heart of this. Jesus is talking about giving to the needy, and he says, do not announce it with trumpets. Back then, religious leaders would literally have trumpets announce when they were giving money so everyone could see how generous they were. And Jesus goes even further. Do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. That's how private your generosity should be. So private that even you almost forget about it. He was talking about these guys called Pharisees who would pray loudly on street corners, stand in the most visible spots in town and make a big show of their holiness. Look at me. Look how righteous I am. Look how much I'm praying. And Jesus said they already had their reward, the attention, the admiration, the reputation. That's it. That's all they get. But the people who gave quietly, who prayed privately where nobody could see them, they received something different. Actual virtue, real character. the genuine reward that comes from doing something right without needing witnesses. Strip away the religious language, and you've got a principle that's been true for 2,000 years. True generosity doesn't need an audience. If you need people to know about your kindness, you're not being kind, you're being strategic. You're investing in your image. And that investment costs you something real, the actual goodness of the act itself. Real kindness is anonymous. It doesn't look for credit, it doesn't need applause, it doesn't require documentation. It just gets done because it needs to be done, and you happen to be there to do it. Here's the test. Can you do something generous and never tell anyone? Can you help someone and let them think they just got lucky? Can you make someone's life better without ever claiming credit for it? If the answer is no, examine your motives. Because you're not helping them, you're helping your reputation. The silence rule: if you do something generous, keep it to yourself for at least a year. Let the impact speak, not your mouth. If someone directly asks, deflect. Just doing what anyone would do. Move on. Test yourself. Do good without anyone knowing. If you can't, if the urge to share is too strong, that's telling you something about why you're really doing it. There's this story about a wealthy man who anonymously paid off medical debts for an entire hospital ward. Didn't tell anyone. No press release, no social media post, nothing. Just did it and walked away. Decades later, the man dies. His family is going through his records, and they find documentation of hundreds of these anonymous donations. Thousands of people helped. Medical bills, school tuitions, rent for struggling families, emergency funds for people in crisis. The community was shocked. This man lived among them for 40 years and never mentioned any of it. Not once. Never brought it up. Never used it to win arguments or prove his character or make himself look good. His funeral was packed. Hundreds of people he'd helped without them ever knowing it was him. The eulogy was simple. He changed lives quietly. That's legacy. That's real generosity. That's actual kindness. Not the Instagram version. Not the look at me being a good person version. The quiet, powerful, genuine version that doesn't need an audience because it's not a performance. If you're doing well to look good, you're not doing well. You're doing marketing. Real kindness doesn't need witnesses. It doesn't need credit. It doesn't need validation. It just needs to be done. But that's just the surface. What's behind it is what will startle people, because while announcing good deeds destroys their value, there's something even more common that people share constantly. And it's the fastest way to turn your private pain into public entertainment for people who don't actually care. Number 4, your personal problems and struggles. 790 words. And that thing is your personal problems. You're going through something difficult, relationship issues, work stress, family drama, health struggles, and you need to vent. You need support. So you tell people. And here's what happens. You told one person in confidence. By Friday, 7 people you've never met know your business and have opinions about it. Your private struggle just became public gossip. And now, instead of dealing with the actual problem, you're dealing with everyone's reactions to the problem. Their advice, their judgments, their dramatized retellings of your situation to people who definitely don't need to know. Here's what most people don't realize. When you share your struggles, 90% of people aren't listening to help. They're listening to have something to talk about. Did you hear about Sarah? Oh my God, let me tell you what's going on with her. And suddenly your pain is someone else's entertainment. Your vulnerable moment is their conversation starter at the next dinner party. You shared because you needed support. They listened because they needed content. There's this ancient wisdom from Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who was a Stoic philosopher. Guy dealt with wars, plagues, political betrayals, family issues, everything you can imagine. And you know what he wrote in his private journal? You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The Stoics believed in processing internally before sharing externally. They understood that strength isn't broadcasting your pain to anyone who'll listen. It's managing it privately, working through it internally, and emerging whole without needing an audience for your suffering. Marcus faced situations that would break most people, and he rarely discussed his personal struggles publicly. Not because he was suppressing them, because he understood that most people can't handle your problems. They don't have the tools, the wisdom, or, honestly, the genuine care to actually help. Here's the brutal truth. Not everyone needs to know you're struggling. In fact, most people shouldn't know. Some people will use your vulnerability against you. That thing you shared in confidence, they'll bring it up in an argument. They'll use it to manipulate you. Well, you're the one who. Your weakness becomes their weapon. Others will just gossip about it. You're now the subject of conversations you're not in. People are discussing your life, making assumptions, spreading information, accurate or not, and you have zero control over the narrative. And the few who actually want to help, most of them don't know how. So they give terrible advice based on their own fears and limitations. You should just, if I were you, have you tried? None of it helps. All of it adds noise. Choose one or two trusted people, maximum. Everyone else is the audience, not support. And even with those one or two people, be selective about what you share and when. Here's the test before you share a problem with anyone. Ask yourself, will this person actually help, or will they just know? If the answer is just no, don't tell them. Simple as that. You don't need more people knowing your business. You need solutions, not spectators. Journal instead. Write it out. Get it out of your head and onto paper. Private, safe, no judgment, no gossip, no unsolicited advice, just you processing your thoughts without contamination from other people's opinions. Or hire a therapist. Seriously, that's literally what they're for. Professional confidentiality, trained to help, no bias, no gossip, no personal agenda. They're not going to run into your cousin at the grocery store and accidentally mention your problems. Professional confidentiality beats a friend's good intentions every single time. Because good intentions don't prevent gossip. They don't prevent judgment. They don't prevent your private pain from becoming public knowledge. There's this woman I know who went through a divorce. Told everyone, seeking support. And you know what she got? Pity. Judgment. Unsolicited advice. People taking sides. People who barely knew her husband are suddenly having strong opinions about what went wrong. Her private pain became a community discussion. The stress of dealing with everyone's reactions tripled the stress of the actual divorce. She was explaining herself to people 2 years later. People she didn't even like had opinions about her life choices. Her friend went through a divorce the same year. Told only her therapist and one close friend. Healed privately. Worked through it without an audience. Emerged strong, peaceful, and ready to move forward. The first woman is still defending her decisions to people who don't matter. The second woman moved on and rebuilt her life while everyone else was busy gossiping about the first woman. Your struggles don't need an audience. They need a solution. Share with people who can actually help. Truly help. Not people who can just listen and repeat. Most people are spectators to your pain, not participants in your healing. And the moment you realize that, you'll stop giving them front row seats to your private struggles. Guard your vulnerability like it's classified information. Because to you, it should be. It sounds simple, but the hardest part is what's about to be told next. Because even if you keep your problems private, there's one more thing people share too early that invites interference, sabotage, and opinions that derail progress before it even begins. Number 5, your next move and future plans. And that thing is your next move. You're about to make a big change. New job, relocation, career pivot, major life decision, and you tell people before it's even finalized. Congratulations. You just invited 17 opinions, 4 doomsday warnings, and 1 person who's actively going to try to sabotage you. Not because they hate you, because your success makes them uncomfortable about their own stagnation. Here's what happens when you announce plans before execution. People start poking holes. Are you sure that's smart? What if it doesn't work out? I knew someone who tried that. And suddenly, you're defending a decision you haven't even made yet. You went from excited to exhausted, from confident to questioning everything, all because you let other people's fears contaminate your vision before you had a chance to test it. There's this ancient military text called The Art of War by Sun Tzu, written 2,500 years ago, still studied by generals, CEOs, and anyone who understands strategy. And one of the core principles is this: all warfare is based on deception. When you are able, appear unable. When you are near, appear far. Now, I'm not saying life is war, but I am saying that success requires strategy, and strategy requires silence. Sun Tzu understood that the enemy can't counter moves they don't see coming. They can't prepare for attacks they don't know are being planned. The element of surprise is a weapon, and you give it away every time you announce your plans to people who have no business knowing them. Successful people move in silence. They execute first, announce later. Unsuccessful people announce every step like they're narrating their own documentary. Coming soon, big things happening. Just wait. We're all waiting. Still waiting. It's been 3 years and you're still announcing the same thing. Here's why announcing plans backfires. Plans change. You know what doesn't change? People's memory of what you said you were going to do. You announce you're starting a business. 6 months later, you realize it's not the right move and pivot to something else. Smart decision. But now you look like you failed. You look like you quit because everyone remembers the announcement. They're not tracking your pivots or adjustments or strategic decisions. They just know you said you were doing something and now you're not. And if you do succeed, if you announce it and it actually works, people knew it was coming. They watched you build it. They saw it develop. The impact is less impressive because they saw every step. No surprise, no wow factor. Just, yeah, we knew you were working on that. Move in silence. Let your success be the surprise. The shock value of, I didn't even know you were working on this, is powerful. It means you were focused on execution, not validation. Results, not approval. Here's the rule. Don't announce any plan until it's 80% complete. Job offer? Don't announce until you've signed the contract and started. Moving to a new city? Tell people after you've moved. Starting a business? Launch it first, announce it second. Protect your plans like classified information, because to you, they should be. Your strategy is valuable. Your ideas are intellectual property. Your next move is nobody's business until you decide to make it their business. And here's the power of this approach. When you move in silence, there's no pressure, no external expectations, no timeline people are holding you to. Just you and your goal in a clean space where you can execute without interference. There's this entrepreneur I know who was planning a major business pivot. He told some industry friends about it, trusted them, thought they'd be supportive. One of those friends took the idea and launched something similar 6 months before he did. Beat him to market with his own concept. Brutal lesson learned. Trust is expensive. Information is currency, and not everyone who smiles at you wants you to win. Next business move? He told absolutely no one. Worked in silence for 1.5 years. Built it, tested it, refined it, launched it successfully. Competitors were shocked. How did we not see this coming? How did we miss this? He smiled and said, because I stopped telling people what I was planning and started showing them what I built. Move in silence. Let success be the announcement. The element of surprise is a competitive advantage. And you're giving it away for free every time you overshare your plans to people who aren't building with you. Strategy requires silence. Execution requires focus. And both require you to keep your mouth shut until the work is done. Wait. The most important part is in the following story, because everything we've covered, goals, money, good deeds, problems, plans, they all point to one final thing that most people share constantly. And it's the reason you're exhausted from conversations that go nowhere and relationships that drain more than they give. Number 6, your lifestyle choices and personal decisions. And that thing is your personal choice. You decide your life, your diet, your religion, your parenting style, your career path, your relationship status, how do you spend your weekends, what you do with your body, your politics, your values. And people who have absolutely zero stake in your life suddenly have very strong opinions about it. Karen from Facebook, who you haven't seen since high school, she's got thoughts about your life choices. And she's not keeping them to herself. She's commenting, messaging, sharing articles that you really need to read. She's concerned, she's worried, she's got advice. Here's the question that should end every one of these conversations. Is Karen paying your bills? Is she living your life? Is she going to face the consequences of your decisions? No? Then why are you explaining yourself to her? You decide to go vegan. Suddenly, everyone's a nutritionist. But where do you get your protein? Humans need meat. That's so extreme. You didn't ask. You're not forcing them to do it, but they're taking your personal choice as a personal attack on their lifestyle. You decide to change careers. But you went to school for that. What about your pension? That's so risky. Again, not their life, not their risk, not their decision, but they're emotionally invested in keeping you where you are because your change makes them question their own stagnation. You decide not to drink alcohol anymore, and people act like you just declared war on fun itself. Come on, one drink won't hurt. You're being dramatic? Just loosen up. Your sobriety makes them uncomfortable about their own drinking habits. So instead of examining that, they pressure you to go back to what makes them comfortable. There's this brilliant essay by Ralph Waldo Emerson called Self-Reliance, written in 1841, still cuts deeper than most modern philosophy, and the opening line hits like a truck. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Think about that. The whole world is trying to shape you into what it wants you to be. What's acceptable? What's normal? What doesn't make other people uncomfortable? And your job, your only job, is to resist that pressure and be who you actually are. Emerson believed that most people live their entire lives according to other people's expectations. They never figure out what they actually want because they're too busy trying to meet everyone else's standards. They never make their own choices because they're terrified of judgment. And here's what happens. The moment you start explaining your choices to people, you've given them authority to approve or disapprove. You've put your life up for a vote, and they will vote. Oh, they will vote. And their votes don't even matter because they're not living the consequences. You don't owe anyone an explanation for how you live your life. Not for what you eat, not for what you believe, not for how you spend your time, not for who you love, not for any of it. You're not on trial. Stop defending yourself like you are. Stop justifying your existence to people who aren't qualified to judge it. Here's what you do. Practice the non-answer. Someone asks about your choice, it's what works for me. That's it. Period. No elaboration, no justification, no detailed explanation about why you made this decision. And here's the research, and here's my thought process. It's what works for me. If they push, and they will push, I appreciate your concern, but I'm comfortable with my choice. Polite? Firm? Done. The more you explain, the more they'll argue. Because they're not actually trying to understand. They're trying to change your mind so they can feel better about their own choices. Stop defending your life to people who aren't living it. You're not required to justify your decisions to an audience that has no idea what you're dealing with, what you've been through, or what you're trying to build. There's this guy who decided to quit drinking. Complete personal choice. His health, his life, his decision. The family judged him. You're overreacting. It wasn't that bad. Friends pressured him. Come on, one beer. Don't be that guy. Coworkers made jokes. Guess someone can't handle their liquor. At first he tried to explain, justify. Well, I just feel better without it. And the more he explained, the more they pushed back. So he stopped explaining, just stopped. When they offered him a drink, no thanks. When they asked why, it's not for me. When they pushed, I'm good, but you enjoy. No explanation, no justification, no debate, just a boundary. 5 years later, he's the healthiest he's ever been. Mentally, physically, financially. And you know what? The same people who judged him are now asking for health advice. He never said, "I told you so," never explained, never defended, just lived his choice so well that the results spoke for themselves. Your life is your message. Stop trying to explain it with words. Live it with actions. The right people will understand without explanation. The wrong people won't understand even with one. Do you see anything unusual? The answer is right here. Everything we've covered, goals, money, good deeds, problems, plans, choices, they all come down to one simple truth that changes everything when you finally accept it. So here's what nobody tells you about peace. It's not about adding more to your life. It's about protecting what's already there. Your goals, your money, your kindness, your struggles, your plans, your choices, all of them are sacred. And sacred things shouldn't be thrown to people who can't appreciate them. Not everyone deserves access to your life. Some people celebrate you. Others just collect information. Learn the difference fast. Every time you overshare, you give someone ammunition, and eventually they'll use it. Less drama, less judgment, less advice you didn't ask for equals more peace, more power, more progress. People can't sabotage what they don't know. They can't judge what you don't share. They can't drain energy you don't give them access to. Pick one of these 6 things. Commit to keeping it private this month. Watch your peace increase when your mouth decreases. If you're ready to protect your peace, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Comment "protected peace" and tell me which one you're most guilty of oversharing. The most peaceful people aren't telling you everything. They're being selective. Silence is power. Privacy is peace. Boundaries are freedom. Not everything needs to be said. Some things are meant to be lived quietly.